Nepal lies in between two giant economies, India and China, with plenty of opportunities to exploit for its development. Administratively, it is divided into 75 districts, 58 municipalities, and 3,915 village development committees. Nepal's population comprises over 100 ethnic groups and speaks 92 languages. Its population is growing at an annual rate of 1.94% and is projected to reach 27.5 million by 2010. In its modernization process, Nepal has seen landmark political changes, which have resulted in major social and economic transformations. The Comprehensive Peace Agreement between the Seven-Party Alliance and the Communist Party of Nepal Maoist was signed in November 2006. The country was declared a republican, federal and secular nation. In 2008, the Constituent Assembly elections were successfully held, the election of the most representative assembly in Nepal's history, and the task to write a new constitution began. In efforts for social change, growth and development, Nepal, among the 189 UN member states, committed itself to meet the Millennium Development Goals in 2000. The past Millennium Development Goals progress reports of 2002 and 2005 and now 2010 indicators indicate Nepal government's continued commitment to attain the goals.
Aggregate and average is okay, but when you disaggregate the incidence of poverty and depth of poverty by geographic area, by ethnic groups and communities, then you will find that there are serious problems. That is our major challenge. On sanitation part also, it's difficult for us to achieve. We need policy consistency, commitment, and of course stronger implementation. What that means in this particularly post-conflict transitional stage means the governance system should be more responsive and effective.
Despite constraints, Nepal is on track to achieve most of its Millennium Development Goals targets, if prevailing trends persist and efforts are continued. Poverty has fallen by about 5 percentage points in the last 5 years. Both the chronic and transitory food security situation has improved. Underemployment has decreased, while unemployment has increased. Remittance money, which is the backbone of the rural economy, is steady. On primary education, the net enrollment rate is increasing, and with some additional effort, the Millennium Development Goals target could be met. The gender equality at primary level is almost 50%, but the gap is high at the tertiary level. In terms of promoting gender equality, women's participation in the non-traditional workforce, such as armed forces, overseas employment, has increased rapidly. 32.8% seats in the Constituent Assembly has been occupied by women, indicating women's empowerment in the political domain. The under-5 mortality rate has decreased significantly in recent years, and the target is likely to be met earlier than 2015. The maternal mortality rate has improved. However, adolescent pregnancy and motherhood is a major social and health issue. It is likely that Nepal will meet the Millennium Development Goals for combating HIV/AIDS, malaria and other diseases. Environmental sustainability is not being addressed adequately and will require much more effort and resources to achieve the targets. Global partnership plays a vital role in Nepal's efforts in attaining the Millennium Development Goals targets. The policy environment for meeting the Millennium Development Goals targets is largely favorable. The government has adopted a new strategy for the next 3 years that will continue to emphasize employment generation, poverty reduction, food security, and responses to climate change. Disparity between rural and urban areas, between genders and caste ethnicities, and between rich and poor is still a persistent problem.
Where we see the successes in Nepal, the patterns are unmistakable. We see good government policies, we see politicians and government coming together and following through on those policies right through one electoral cycle to another so that they last long enough to start seeing results. And we see resources being pushed to the community level. We see more teachers, better qualified healthcare workers at the community level delivering in primary education, primary healthcare, and that's what's translating into very clear results. And finally, a clear pattern is that ongoing engagement by Nepal's bilateral and multilateral partners. Where Nepal has had success, there's also been a role, one way or the other, of Nepal's international friends.
It is imperative to reach the hardcore poor and pocket areas, for instance in the far western region where delivery of education and health services have been difficult. Employment needs to be made available for youths who migrate in search of decent work opportunities. However, process towards achievement of all the basic services has been adversely affected by political uncertainty, the absence of stable government, delay in the preparation of an inclusive constitution, and lack of elected local bodies. Given the gap between targets and achievements so far, attainment of the Millennium Development Goals will require concerted efforts both by the donors and the government to improve the quality of aid effectiveness. Most urgently, the CA and the government have to meet the deadline for producing an acceptable new constitution by the end of April 2011.
सहस्राब्दी विकास लक्ष्यमा कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ छुट्टा-छुट्टै निकायहरूको छुट्टा-छुट्टै अभियान हो कि भन्ने हामीलाई महसुस हुन्छ। जस्तो संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघले आफ्नै अभियान गर्ने, दाताहरूले आफ्नै अभियान गर्ने र नागरिक संगठनहरूले आफ्नै अभियान, त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ एकीकृत अभियानको अभावले 2015 मा चाहिँ यो जुन लक्ष्यहरू चाहिँ पूरा गर्नलाई कठिन हुन्छ कि भन्ने हाम्रो बुझाइ हो। त्यसकारण आगामी दिनमा यी सबै निकायहरूको अभियानलाई एकीकृत गरेर गयो भने अवश्य पनि नेपालको सन्दर्भमा लक्ष्यहरू प्राप्ति हुन्छन् भन्ने हामीलाई लाग्छ।
यस सहस्राब्दी विकासका लक्ष्यहरूको निम्ति अथवा MDG गोल्स का इश्यूजहरूबारे रेज गर्नको निम्ति अहिलेसम्म 10 जना युवा सभासदहरूको जो विभिन्न राजनीतिक दलहरूमा आबद्ध छन् र समावेशी ढंगले एउटा समिति गठन भएको छ र यसमा चाहिँ विभिन्न संघ संस्थाहरू पनि आबद्ध भएका छन्। हाम्रो मुख्य अब्जेक्टिभ युवा सभासदहरूको तर्फबाट चाहिँ विभिन्न संघ संस्थामा आबद्ध व्यक्तित्वहरूलाई, सिभिल सोसाइटीमा आबद्ध व्यक्तित्वहरूलाई, राजनीतिक दल पार्टीमा प्रतिनिधित्व गरिरहेका व्यक्तित्वहरूलाई चाहिँ सबै नेपाली जनतामा नै MDGs अथवा सहस्राब्दी लक्ष्य विकासका लक्ष्यहरूको बारेमा चाहिँ एउटा इश्यूज यसको चाहिँ गोल के हो भन्ने बारेमा चाहिँ अवेयरनेस क्रिएट गर्नको निम्ति नै यो कमिटी चाहिँ गठन भएको हो।
It is important not only to examine the status of the Millennium Development Goals and the likelihood of achieving them by 2015, but also to ask whether the achievements made so far will be sustained in the long term.